is presented by Dustin DeHart of Nova Home Loans. Call him now at 702-577-2600.
All right, here we go. 4 o'clock hour football frenzy is here. You want to check out live video? We're up on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. You can comment. Adam Hill is here. It's Cofield. You heard it. Silver Sevens is the site. Before we get to the frenzy, a couple of important notes. We'll get some of the details out on the Golden Knights schedule. We know their home opener, Kraken, so we'll get to the odds on that one. Odds already up at several places around town. I saw some of the, is this Denver media that you retweeted? Yeah, Denver media pointing out that the Avs will be here on the 27th of December, day before Broncos and Raiders. All right, it's a nice little road trip. Pay up, Denver. Pay up. We're getting our money.
He also were going back and forth because somebody immediately told him, hey, good luck parking at either of those events. And he said, oh, Uber. And then I responded, oh, yeah, I forgot. You haven't been here in a while.
Yeah. No, you won't. But that one's really significant, Adam, because, yes, that can still be a big week here in Vegas, but right near New Year's, not the beginning of the week.
Yeah. Always big.
So now we've got something to kind of carry right after Christmas into like Monday, Tuesday. How cool is that?
That'll be nice. Very nice. And hopefully that's something that continues. You get that game in between, that week in between Christmas and New Year's, getting a home game would be nice for the city.
We've been talking different football stories throughout the show. We'll get back to what could happen to Big 12, the Mountain West, the AAC, the SEC, the Big 10. Now that there's rumors out there that Texas and Oklahoma want out, are looking around again. So that's coming up. Also, the NFL rules that were released to some of the media members today, some updates on COVID policy with unvaccinated players when it comes to outbreaks and game movement, game postponement. Doesn't sound like that's going to happen. Another part of that is not only if you have a forfeit, you don't get paid, your entire team doesn't get paid, the other team doesn't get paid. That seems a little bit goofy to me. And I thought this was going to come at some point. Wait, the NFLPA agreed that both teams get penalized. Matthew Judon, who is now on the Patriots, said just a couple minutes ago, actually earlier this afternoon, the NFLPA effing sucks. That was all he said. So I assume it was in relation to that, or I don't know, maybe he's got concerns about the actual vaccinations.
I would imagine it's that. That seems to be what the reactions are. Because here's the thing. Think how much the Raiders last year were in violation of protocols, were having issues, were on the list, and all these other things, right? How many games were they forfeited? 0. And so I think that's important to remember, because I got some texts and some emails right when this was announced that were like, oh, the Raiders, you got to bet the under. They would have lost like 5 games last year on this. No, they wouldn't.
No.
None.
And that's why it's getting hyped up a lot today, but I've seen that note from several people. It was close in a couple of cases.
Sure.
But there wouldn't have been cancellations.
It would have been cases like that Ravens Steelers game that had to be pushed back to like a Wednesday. That would end up being a forfeit instead of, and that's only if they can't rearrange it.
It's interesting. Yeah. Well, it is interesting that Craig Thompson of the Mountain West said, if you're not ready to play at the scheduled time.
Right.
So they're not moving times, because you remember the Raiders had to move times a couple of times.
Yeah, but that was only because of TV. That wasn't because of any other issue. They moved
so TV
the time.
Could have gone through with it.
Right. They
could have rolled the dice, because that TV was worried that the game might go down completely.
Right, because they need a Sunday night game on television, and the Raiders game, there were some questions whether they could play, and it was scheduled for prime time. So on Wednesday of that week, NBC was like, we need to make a decision. Are we playing this game or not? They weren't 100% sure it could be played, so they moved it to an afternoon time. They actually moved it up because they didn't want to have it isolated at prime time and then have it pushed back. So that was a case where they, it didn't have to be done. There was 0 games last year, and remember that it was that game, the Chiefs game. There was a bunch of players on the list. They ended up playing and being fine. There was some coach issues, and from what we were told by John Gruden, the entire coaching staff is vaccinated, but there was coach issues in the Chargers and the Dolphins game. So there was a bunch of issues last year, but none of the games would have resulted in a forfeit. There was only a couple of games around the league that would have been impacted by this rule. And now we're at a place where, over 75% of players are vaccinated. So I don't think this is going to matter at all. I don't think that we're going to see a case where this actually impacts a game and somebody forfeits. But but it's a message to players. One more message that says, hey, you don't want this to happen. You don't have to worry about it. There's an easy way to fix this. Because I see other people saying, oh, even if you're vaccinated, you can still get it. True, breakthrough cases, those happen. But the hospitalization rates and the serious illness rates are very low on that. And you aren't subject to this. So what they're saying is, sure, you can still get sick, but this rule is not going to apply to you if you're vaccinated. So there's an easy way to not worry about this rule.
Do you have a list of candidates out publicly or in your mind for the Raiders president's gig? Because Louis Riddick, who interviewed for a bunch of GM jobs in the offseason, is with ESPN, is doing Monday Night Football, did send out a tweet the other day. Team president positions don't come open very often. Hashtag Raider Nation. Is he shooting a shot there?
Maybe just pointing out that, it doesn't happen. I mean, no, I don't really have it. And, I think the misunderstanding, because I did see a lot of people, and we talked about this the other day, but just to reiterate it, this is not a football position. So this is not like, oh, there might be a fast rising GM or something. Like, no, this is not a football position. This is a business position. So, I mean, you look at maybe executives in the gaming industry and just people around town, that sort of thing. People, I guess, around the league on the operation side, not on the football side. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would be interested in this job. Living in Las Vegas, a great job within the franchise, but I wouldn't be looking at like former players or coaches or anything like that. It's a totally different position.
Let's do a giveaway right now. 364-1100, 364-1100. It's caller 11. Lunch for two. Porta Subs is hooking you up. You get 2 Porta Subs, All-American combos, turkey, ham, bacon, provolone. You got the pepper jack, peppercini bread, all grilled to perfection. You get your choice of chips and the drink. You get 2 of these combos. It's the Porta Subs All-American combos. Caller 11, 364-1100.
Dustin DeHart of Nova Home Loans brings you the 4 o'clock football frenzy. Dial 702-577-2600 now. Home prices have never been higher and interest rates have never been lower. Get your mortgage tune-up today by calling 577-2600.
I'm attorney Paul Powell. A lot of lawyers promise a lot of things. No fee unless we win. The consults are free. Of course they offer that stuff. All lawyers do that. But will they promise not to take more money than you at the end of your case?